right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Two Beers with a Band. I'm your host, Chris Schrum, and today I'm interviewing Mr. Patrick Sewalk. And you just heard his song, Tourist in Your Love. And Mr. Patrick here is a Nashville-based singer, musician, songwriter, and song maker, which I'm really curious about, and we'll get to that here in a minute. All right, Mr. Sewalk, if you don't mind, if you'll introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and what we're going to be sipping on.
Yeah, of course. My name is Patrick. I have a band that's called Patsy. I like to make music and write songs and make songs and help other people make their music. And we're about to drink. I brought the pub ale from Black Abbey. It's kind of like an ESB, which is an English special bitter. So it's like a really kind of like dry lager.
Yeah.
A little heavier than a Pilsner. Kind of just not sweet, just dry. Yeah. My friend showed me this recently and I like it a lot.
Well, Black Abbey is a Nashville-based brewery, not too far from where I work, but sadly, I've never been able to visit.
Yeah.
The outside of the brewery from the road really is pretty.
It is.
And,
Can I cheers you?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Yeah, it's a big old place over there.
All right. What do you get when you taste this?
I get malty, but dry, like not too bready, just like kind of bitter, and it's nice.
Get a little bit of that. I get a little malt, get a little brown bread crust.
Okay.
And maybe just a slight buttered bread.
Buttered bread.
Yeah.
All right.
Like maybe just, let's say, a piece of toast.
Okay.
That is kind of a whole grain toast.
Okay.
With just a very slight dollop of butter.
The thinnest spread of butter.
Yeah.
I
get
see that.
I get a little bit of that.
I also get like basement, like the kind of like an old basement.
Yeah, like when you go into it, it's kind of cool and kind of has this moisture smell.
Yeah, and I like it.
Well, it's different. And I think I get that initially.
Yeah.
But basement really isn't an endearing term.
No, it's not
for a beer.
No.
So,
but I like cement floor basement that like has a little bit of like moisture in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of let that settle for a minute and say, okay, you can't say basement. So what makes up the basement taste? And that's when it kind of, at least for me, kind of goes to a darker bread crust with just a very slight hint of butter.
Okay. And I like it.
I do enjoy that beer. It
kind of reminds me of a Yazoo Gerst, but a little less bready than a Gerst.
And I think, honestly, a Gerst has just a touch more body to it.
It does, yeah.
And just a slightly sweeter malt. But I can see it. I can definitely put these two together and enjoy them both. This is a good beer.
Yeah. I'm glad you like it.
Well, I'm glad you brought that. So, tell us, where are you from? How old you are?
Okay. Yeah. All the basics.
Yeah.
Okay. I grew up in Central Ohio, in a town called Galena, and I'm 32. I moved here to Nashville when I was 18. And I've lived here ever since. And I'm like almost half my life here, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah.
what brought you to Nashville at 18? I mean, that's a heck of a move.
Yeah, I know. As I was finishing up high school, I think I'm gonna burp more than once.
Well, we're drinking beer.
Yeah.
Happens.
Yeah. I would say like later on in being in high school, I kind of just knew that I wanted to spend a life making and playing music. And I didn't know much about I didn't know anything about Nashville really. But I knew it was like, music city.
Yeah.
In a hub for music. And I was also thinking about Austin, Texas. And I'd never really spent much time in the South growing up at all. And Texas just seemed like so far away. Like I would never get to see my family, but Tennessee seemed like exotic enough, like, oh, it's the South,
Right.
like 6 hours away from where I grew up.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, that's closer. That's a good option. And I just wanted to play in bands. Honestly, that's like why I moved here.
Well, have you been able to do those things, play in bands?
Yeah.
Make the kind of music you want to make?
Yeah. I mean, making the kind of music that I want to make is, I think, like a never ending journey. Because sometimes you make something and it's not exactly what you wanted or, heard in your head, but you kind of have to live with it. But I'm really lucky. I've played in more bands than I could recount to you right now. I would forget some of them, but I've played in, I think it's almost 14 years, but yeah, I played in dozens probably.
Okay. Well, my first question is, what is a song maker?
Okay. Yeah. I'm glad you did your research because that's what's on my Instagram profile. And I kind of, there's so many people in Nashville that call themselves songwriters.
Yeah.
And not that there's anything wrong with that. Like that's how they view themselves. But I think I'm kind of coming from the standpoint of, my biggest weakness in the whole song process is writing lyrics. And so I guess like growing up being like a music lover, often the lyrics were like the last thing that I even like thought about or cared about. Like I would like sing along to Green Day songs, and I would know the words, but I never like thought about what these songs are about. And so like for me, the lyrics have always kind of been like an afterthought. Until recently. And so when I say I'm a song maker, it's because I don't really write anything. Like I can like play the instruments, make the track. I know like the vibe for the song. Like I know like how I want to make you feel. I can even like come up with a melody and sing it. But like so often doing the lyrics is what like kind of makes me not finish a song.
Yeah.
So when I say song maker instead of songwriter, I have all the tools and skills to like make a song, but maybe I'm not great at like writing a song. And that's kind of where I make that difference. And also it's like I can help people make their songs. So producer, song maker, that's kind of a similar phrase.
Well, I mean, it's fair to say that because you are making the song.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of songs out there in all different genres that actually don't have lyrics.
That's right.
But it's still a song.
Yeah.
So you are a song maker.
Yeah.
You're not a song writer.
Yeah.
And I guess honestly, when somebody tells me I'm a songwriter, the first thing that pops in my head, they're a person that writes lyrics.
Yeah.
they play possibly one instrument, and that's how they write their song.
Yeah.
They do lyrics as well as an instrument. Initially, that's my thought.
Yeah.
When someone says songwriter.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, that could be incorrect, and they could be a song maker like you.
Yeah.
But songwriter is such a general term.
It is, yeah. And to me, when I hear someone say that in Nashville, that like kind of means nothing to me.
There are so many people in this town that are both song makers and songwriters.
Exactly, yeah.
But it's songwriter tends to be what, catches everybody's attention. So that's what everybody says. Oh, I'm a songwriter.
Yeah.
I'm a music writer. It's kind of a general term that's thrown around.
Yeah, for sure. And like, for me, it's like, yeah, I may as well say songwriter, but like, it's kind of like a joke in my head of like, I don't write songs, I make songs.
Well, actually, if I met you and I was like, hey, man, what do you do?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a producer, musician, song maker. Immediately, my next question would be what my first question is.
Yeah.
Song maker. What is a song maker?
Yeah.
Now you got my attention. But if you said, hey, I'm a producer and a songwriter, it would just kind of go over my head. I'd be like, oh, one of those. Exactly. Somebody that, and again, it'd be like, oh, somebody that sits down, writes lyrics, and plays one instrument.
Yeah.
But being a song maker, what instruments do you play?
I play the guitar. I play keys. I play bass. I play the drums. I play the mandolin. I used to play the flute.
Okay.
And that's probably like a good synopsis. I don't know if that's a word. Of what I do, or at least like what I can like bring to the table.
What genre of music do you create for?
That's a question that I have a hard time answering for myself. I find myself always inspired by different things. Like I go through phases of like, I'll like be listening to like bluegrass and then put on jazz, and then I'll listen to like hyper pop, and it's like, it doesn't make sense in my mind. I guess what I'm trying to make is some sort of like blend of genres that takes like the best of like electronic music and indie rock and R&B. I guess I'm talking more like what I want to be doing, because sometimes it doesn't come out that way.
Yeah.
Like I just wrote a song recently that makes me think of like Sugar Ray, and I'm like, oh, this is like a 90s like alternative rock pop song, and I didn't mean to do it, but it just happened. So
are you happy with it?
I'm happy with it. Now that it's done. When I started writing it, I was like, like sometimes you, for me at least, I don't know why I just looked at the camera. For me, I sometimes if you like accidentally come up with a good idea, it's like, oh, okay, that's like, maybe I wanted to write like a moody, sad song or something, and I come up with like kind of a silly song, but I like it, and I'm like, oh, I have to finish this now, because like that's cool, but like that's not what I was aiming for, you know?
Yeah. Well, if here in Nashville, as you know, and a lot of people know, but not everybody, there is a huge indie scene in this town that plays all different genres of music. And so far, I think just about everybody I've interviewed or even talked to off camera has a blend of different genres
Yeah.
of music.
Yeah.
And I always ask, well, if I was going to find you on a playlist,
Yeah.
what sort of playlist do you think I would find you on?
Okay. It would definitely be an indie rock playlist, I would say. Maybe that like has a little bit of crossover with like kind of more psychedelic music or like electronic music.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think that I haven't really even like pinned down what my sound is yet. And so it's kind of like I put out different things and they kind of like go in different directions.
Okay. Can you walk us through the creative process from idea to finished product?
Yeah. It happens in all sorts of different ways. The last song that I wrote, it was during like the snow apocalypse. And I kind of was like, I had my acoustic guitar and like the power was out in my house.
Right.
And I had a neighbor over and my roommate was there and we were sitting in the living room and we had nothing to do because like the power was out. And I was just kind of like jamming on these like 2 chords. And it sounded like to me like old like folky like folk rock kind of thing. And I was trying to write like a bluesy song with it. And then like a week or 2 later, I was like in my studio and I was kind of just like singing nonsense over those chords. Like sometimes I just have to sing and just like not think about what I'm singing and just let things come out. And I came up with this line or this like chorus and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I could like take that somewhere. So it's like something's been like marinating in the back of my head maybe, and I just hadn't found the right like expression of it. So that's definitely one way. But then sometimes I approach it also from starting with different instruments. Like I have this drum beat in my head right now that's been in there for a while, and I'm like, oh, I want to like make something with that beat. Or I'll like sit down at the piano and like find some chords and like, oh man, like I love those chords. Like let's do something with that. So it's like I find it frustrating that I don't have like a single method, but also it's great because it means that if I ever get like blocked up creatively, I can just like pivot to like something else.
Yeah.
And I can start from a different place.
Yeah.
And then lately, and this never happens, and this is kind of funny because we were just talking about how I call myself a song maker, not a songwriter, but I came up with this idea lyrically, and I was like, what if I write a whole song lyrically before I ever pick up an instrument? Like that would be so cool. So it just happens differently every time. I think my favorite is when I like just kind of, I have a guitar, my acoustic guitar, and I'm not thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like mindlessly like playing chords and singing, and like something comes out that I wasn't trying to do and it just sounds good. And I'm like, oh, that's cool.
When you do that, do you ever have something recording, like maybe your phone? When you come up with something, I've talked to a lot of artists that use their phone like when they're driving, something hits and they're like, ooh, if I don't get this down now, I might lose it. So
absolutely. Yeah.
They use their phone. They use maybe old school tape recorder, one of the little ones.
Yeah.
When I was in college, I would take the class and but that's the whole thing.
That's cool.
I'm old school. No, I'm old, but yeah. What do you kind of keep around to make sure you capture the idea?
Well, I mean, I've got my phone, I've got the like voice memos app, and I've got like hundreds of memos. And usually I try to like title it as soon as I do it so I can like go through and like, and no. Actually, I kind of want to like see what I've written down on some of these. I'm just gonna like see what some of my most recent ones are. First one is Kaylee riff. She's a friend of mine who's a songwriter. I guess I thought of a cool riff for her. The next one's 044 Runner. The next one is Pissing in the Morning. The next one is Melodramatic 80s Keys Progression. Moody Acoustic Riff, Alex Riff. Yeah, I just like title them all sorts of things.
Well, I guess if you have so many, it's easier to go through. If you're looking to write a song kind of fits a certain mood, it's easier to go through.
Exactly. Yeah. Because it'll just auto name it. I think I'm at like my recording 159. And I'm like, if I'm scrolling through, I'm not going to like click on that and listen to it if I don't know what it's going to be. So I just title them and it helps me kind of like log them. But that's cool. I mean, writing lyrics in my notes app is how I keep track of lyrics. And then not exactly the question you asked, but if I have like some music that I like a track that I have going, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to try to like write some words or sing over this. Sometimes the very first thing that I do without thinking about it is the best thing. So like, instead of like practicing singing before I record, I get like a microphone ready and like it's recording before I ever start. So that immediately, like, if the first thing that I do is like really cool, I'd still have it.
All right. What does a typical studio session look like for you?
Are you asking in regards to like me just by myself making a song, or if I'm like working with another artist?
Let's say you by yourself.
Me by myself?
Yeah.
Usually it looks like me with my guitar or like with a microphone and headphones, like pacing around for hours, like trying to find like the lyrics to something, or like, basically once I find the like basic structure of a song, like, oh, I know what the sections are, like where we have like a verse, then a chorus, then a verse, then a chorus, then a bridge, then a chorus. Like once I know that, I'll be like, okay, let's set up the drums. Let's set up a microphone on my guitar amp, and I'll kind of just like play ideas like over and over again, probably.
Yeah.
Until I feel like I've like gotten all the juice out of them. Like there's so much like to discover. This is a weird analogy. I don't know why I'm looking at the camera again. But sometimes I feel like I'm an archaeologist.
Yeah.
And like the songs are already there and they're like buried somewhere.
Yeah.
And all I have to do is like uncover them.
Chip away.
Chip away, and like I'm like, oh, okay. It's just like you just work the dust away and it's like, oh, it's right there. And so that's kind of through repetition I like find that kind of thing.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's
definitely an approach. I'm trying to approach more of like imperfection is okay kind of approach. Like I'm just gonna try 2 takes, and like whatever like the second take is, like that's good. So that's a very different way to do it. But
well, how do you know when a song is finished?
When I know when it's done when I
Well, I mean, everybody has their each
Yeah.
creative has a different way of knowing when a song's done. I've heard everybody say, or not everybody, but I've heard some people say, I put so much work into a song and I know I overthink everything, including music. And I'll have to walk away from a song for a while.
Yeah.
And then I come back to it and say, okay, you know what? I was happy with it where it was and I left it that way.
Yeah.
So let me have these few people listen, see what they think.
Yeah.
And they say, hey, man, I kind of like that. And they're like, okay, it's done. I'm done with it. I wash my hands of it. I need to move on and I need to walk away from it.
I have an issue. That's something that I wish weren't the case, but I eventually stop liking all of my songs, like before they're even done. And it's a kind of a curse of mine where I've like, whatever got me excited, I've like lost it. It's like, okay, like it's not interesting to me anymore, or like I just kind of get tired of it. That happens every time that I make music, and it's a real struggle to like put songs across the finish line to finish them when I kind of like lose my interest in them. So in a weird way, finishing a song is more like I'm tired of this and I've done enough for this to be okay, because I want to move on to what's next. It's more of like a let's move on. I want to do the next song kind of thing. So it's like what's like the minimum that I can get away with? I think is like how I approach it.
How many unfinished songs do you think you have?
So many. I have like a hard drive full of like sessions of like doodles and ideas, and
200, 300.
It's probably like 100.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay.
And they're not all songs. Like some of them are just like doodles of like I was messing around with like a drum kit or like a drum machine and like an instrument, and it's not much at all, but like I kind of like the best part about making a song is the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like right when you start, it's exciting. It's like, oh, it's new. And I've kind of gotten okay with the fact that I don't finish a lot of things. And even sometimes when I'm recording in my software, I use a software called Ableton to record. And sometimes if I know how do I want to say this? Sometimes I know I won't have the energy to finish something, and I will actually delete it once I'm done, like with like I put in 2 hours into something, and then I'll delete it because I'm like, I know I'm not going to finish that. So like, I don't want like this song that I'm not finishing, that I'm not going to be able to finish, to like bug me and get in the way of like other projects. It's kind of weird, but it's fun to like delete. This is a lot of fun so far. I like being asked questions that no one asks me, you know?
Okay.
I appreciate it.
I'm having a good time. And I'm learning. I do this for a couple of reasons. One, I want to learn about how music is created, how videos are created, how anything that has to do with music, the business part, the creative part, the recording part, the everything.
Yeah.
That's why I do this.
Okay.
I want fans of music and people who are thinking about moving to Nashville to be a song maker or a songwriter to happen upon this podcast and say, you know what? I haven't thought about stuff that way.
Yeah.
Or I'm not strange because there's someone else that does the same thing. I thought the way I created music was different or odd.
Yeah.
And I didn't think, I'd love to go to Nashville or somewhere else, but I'm afraid because.
Yeah.
And there's song makers, songwriters nationwide that probably have 200 songs.
Yeah.
Like you, they're like, and they're not good enough.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to do anything with them. You know what? There could be a solid gold album in there, but that person never allows anyone to hear the music. And that's kind of a shame because that person created that song.
Yeah.
And they put a lot of time and a lot of effort into it, but it doesn't tick all the boxes for them.
Sure.
So they choose not to release it
Yeah.
or not to even let other people hear it.
Yeah.
And, how many number one songs in all genres have been created, but no one's ever heard them? Because artists, producers, writers are like,
we'll never know. Yeah.
It's okay. I like it, but it's just not time for it. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and shelve it and
Yeah.
we'll come back to it. But they never do. And it just stays up here. And the world never gets to hear what could be the next greatest thing to ever, hit the radio. So
I know.
it's that's part of music, and I guess as that's probably the same thing in most all art.
Yeah.
Most all art, or all of art. Painters probably create paintings that they're not happy with. The painting's done, and they just put it away because they don't. Well, I'm not happy with that. I'm not proud of it.
Yeah.
It looks okay, but, well, there's somebody out there that wants that.
Yeah.
But they'll never know because you'll never show it to the world.
Yeah.
And then after that person passes, all their paintings get put on display and people just buy them up.
Yeah.
Photographers.
Yeah.
The number of photos that never get released that are beautiful, but they're, I don't like the light. That I'm not happy with the angle, or the shadows, or, whatever. It's like, no, man, that I really like that photo.
Yeah.
Well, I don't, so I'm going to disregard that entire old school roll of film. It's like,
Sure.
why?
Yeah.
Just because you don't like it doesn't mean somebody else isn't going to find it just absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Then you have the photographers, buddy. I'll put everything I shoot out there.
Yeah.
Everything, even the mistakes.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, don't look at it.
Yeah.
If you like it, love it.
Yeah.
And that.
I like that attitude, and I wish I were more like that.
Well, it's your art.
Yeah.
It's your product. You can do with it what you want. So if you choose to delete it, I mean, it's yours to delete. It's not anybody else's. Nobody else has any part of creating or making that song. So if you delete it, that's your choice.
Yeah.
What is the hardest part about creating music for you?
I touched on it a little bit earlier, but the hardest part is I think being too much of a critical audience on my music while I'm making it. There's like a very special window of time when I can just kind of let things come out of me, and I'm not judging it. And then once I kind of lose that headspace, then I become a critical. And so that's the part of me that kind of stops liking what I'm making. Cause it's not the pure inspiration moment anymore.
Yeah.
So definitely the hardest part is I had a cool idea, and I've taken it maybe 70% of the way to finishing, and I'm like, oh man, I'm not into this anymore. Like, do I like really, it feels like I have to like chain myself down to like finish something.
Yeah.
And that's so hard. Like, oh, here's the thing. I was writing a song with my friend Justin. This is his project. It's called Off to Sleep. I got to work and produce some of his music. But I was writing a song with him, and we have the track, like we have the melody, and I was kind of hoping that he would sing it, and it kind of just happened that I was doing it. And so I'm sitting here with like a track that's like fully tracked basically besides the vocals, and like I've got a melody, I've got like what I think the song is about, but I'm just like struggling with finishing the lyrics. And I'll go to my studio and like just kind of like put on my guitar and get out my like voice memos note and be like, okay, I'm going to spend maybe like 45 minutes trying to like come up with some lines for this part that I don't have. And I might not think of anything. I might just like waste 40. It's not a waste, but like I might spend 45 minutes to an hour doing this and come back with nothing. And it's like, that's kind of like what you have to like psych yourself for, is like, yeah, I'm going to put in the work. I'm going to cast my lines and see if I get something, but like I might not. So that's like the most difficult part for me.
Who are your biggest musical influences and how have they shaped your sound?
The very first one who comes to mind is Kevin Parker. He's kind of the guy behind the band Tame Impala. And I've kind of like, really like, shaped my creative like journey around like what I envisioned his creativity to be, and that he's kind of also like plays everything, produces himself, sings, writes the songs. To me, like his music just like clicked in my head in such a way that I was like, I like feel like I have to figure out how to do this. Like I need to. And you know, like at least in terms of like his sound, kind of like originally like a 70s psych rock, kind of like prog rock even kind of band, and he's kind of taken his sound elsewhere since then. But just kind of like a lot of his rhythmic sensibility and his like melodic sensibility, I get a lot of mine from him. I would say also Paul McCartney, just to touch on like where I get a lot of like what I want to hear melodically, particularly like as a bass player, which I do a lot of, definitely like gravitate a lot toward him. But that's a really hard question because I feel like those are all just kind of snapshots of little pieces of like what make up my musical makeup. Because I'm sure there are like big influences on me that have like really shaped who I am that don't really like come to mind. And this is kind of to me, it's an embarrassing influence because I don't like what this band has done in the past decades. But like, when I was learning piano, I grew up playing a lot of Coldplay songs, from like their first 3 or 4 albums. And so like, I would say Chris Martin definitely at one point in time was a big influence on me, just in terms of like how I hear like rhythm on piano. Those are the ones that come to mind right now.
Was there a specific song from Kevin or Paul that changed the way you thought about music?
There's one recently. I'm trying to think of like, back when I was like a child, like what changed my life. But I'm not sure if I can like think about that. But lately, I'm sure you know, while my guitar gently weeps.
Yeah.
It's like it's a George song, and like he's got a solo on it. But like, if you listen to Paul's bass playing, it's like just like hits so good, and like it's crazy to go back and listen to songs in new ways, like as time goes on, and just hear like, oh wow, like I never appreciated that about this. There's another song by Kevin Parker. It's on their second to last album called The Slow Rush, and it's called Posthumous Forgiveness. And it's a song about his dad who passed away from cancer. And it's a 2-part song. And the first part of it is basically like blaming his dad for like, I can't believe like you like put me and my brother through this, like all the hardship of growing up in their family. And then that song kind of fizzles out and it goes into like a new movement. And basically it's like, I'm an adult now and I get it. And like, I understand like what struggles you faced. Cause like I struggle with them too. And it's like, a really moving piece of music. And I have to like make sure that I don't listen to it often because it's like very powerful to me. But there's something about like, if I'm getting like analytical with it, I love like how like, I love the drum beat. There's like an odd kind of like phrasing with how many measures are in the phrase. And then just like the melody is great. And it's just like my favorite thing that he's done. And I don't know, I chase, when I'm making music, I'm not chasing like those sounds per se, but more of like, I want to create the feeling that makes me feel in something in my own way.
Do you do anything in the arts other than music?
No. I do like work with like building. Like I do like home remodeling. And so like in a way that's an art. Like how do you make like a home feel good by making these changes to it? But I mean, that might be the closest thing. Otherwise, I like to cook, but I'm not good at it. But off the top of my head, those are the only other like artistic things that I think that I do.
Okay.
I appreciate, the other like film and stuff, but
Right. All right.
Should we move on? I'll finish this one.
Well, if you don't mind, and I'll tell you what we can do. After we get finished with this Edley's beer,
Yeah.
got a couple of other choices in here.
Okay.
If you would like.
Sure.
These are an IPA.
Okay.
And the name of this IPA, which is the only reason I got it, our most popular IPA is the name of the beer.
Do you think they called it that before it was their most popular?
Well, they also have an IPA called our second most popular beer. And I was like, dude, I've absolutely...
That's hilarious.
got to, and as a matter of fact, this one is our most popular IPA. This one, our second most popular IPA. And I was thinking, y'all had the nerve to name your beers.
That's like calling your child like favorite child, second favorite child.
Yeah. And I'm thinking, I'd love to try those to see what the difference is.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
And see why one's the most popular, why one's the second most popular. So if you would like, once we get through the Edleys.
Sure.
Or if you want to, we can do that, because that would be
I think I'd probably rather try like something different, like an IPA, because I mean, I picked like a pretty like, you know, dry ale. You also have a golden ale. Like I think it'd be fun to kind of change up.
Okay.
What we're doing.
If you want to hand that back,
sure.
I'll hand you.
Which one do you want to do?
There's those.
Okay.
And I think we could start with our most popular IPA.
Cool.
And then if you want to, after that, we can move on to our second most popular IPA. I'm telling you, I saw that. I'm like, that's just great.
Yeah.
That is great marketing, because a guy like me is going to be like, okay, what's the difference in it? Which is going to make me buy at least one of these.
Right? Yeah, just to see like, do I prefer this one?
So they got me on that, on the labeling. And to me, the labels aren't, I've never bought a beer based on the label. No, I take that back. I have a few times.
Yeah.
Labels have been very nice, very creative, look like somebody put a lot of time and effort into it.
Yeah, branding.
And the beer sucked. But, I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
These labels were just so, I mean, kind of basic. It's just a simple, basic picture.
Yeah.
But the colors in the picture and then that big white background, it's kind of cheerful, you know?
Yeah, I like that.
Of course, I have a picture of the beer, which that's nice, but all the other colors are cheerful. So I'm like, based on the name and based on the simpleness, simpleness, probably not a word.
Simplicity
of the label. I'm going to pick these up. So,
all right.
They won their, they got me on that. I hope the beer is as good as it should be. I mean, Evil Twin Brewing does, they do a good job.
Yeah.
I've had a handful of their beers that I really enjoy.
Oh, they're from New York?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So if you want to, we
can, let's do it, shall we?
Yeah, let's go ahead and put it in a glass.
Cool. Our most popular IPA.
Our most popular IPA by Evil Twin Brewing out of New York City. This is a 6% ABV IPA. Hazy IPA.
I learned recently why they're called India Pale Ales.
Why is that?
Do you know? Because maybe you could explain it better than I could.
Well,
you know.
Go ahead and explain it, and I'll see if what I've read and what you've heard are the same thing.
So it has to do with like trade, like naval or like sea trade, and with like the sailors on a boat, and of course they would like bring beer on their boat when they were like, cheers. You know, at sea for months. Ooh, that's sweet. I mean, I guess after the pub ale, everything kind of tastes sweet.
That is a tasty beer.
Yeah. Tastes like grapefruit.
It does have a grapefruit rind.
Yeah.
But I kind of get a little tangerine on the very back.
Yeah. And definitely orange.
It does have medium body to it, which for a solid hazy IPA, it should have, in my opinion, have a medium body to it.
Yeah. Okay.
And it has just enough sweetness to kind of level everything out. Because that citrus and that grapefruit does hit awful hard, but it's clean.
Yeah, it's
it goes away
it's not like
faster than I thought it would.
Yeah, it's not like doesn't smack you in the face like a lot of IPAs. But all I was gonna say was I think something about all the hops when you're like on the boat help like preserve the beer from going bad than like a lager. So it's called an India Pale Ale because it's like they took it on the boat to like the Indies or wherever they were going.
Close enough.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Yeah. Okay.
But if that is their most popular IPA, I'm pretty excited about.
But their second most?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this is for people that like the West Coast IPA, which is going to be a little more dank. Okay. They're probably not going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
This is
more mellow,
very citrus forward IPA. My neighbor is not a fan of citrus forward IPAs.
Okay.
Doubt he would like this. He'd finish the can, but he definitely wouldn't reach for a second one.
Yeah.
But what I like about it is that the aroma is very citrusy, and just pouring it into the glass, I got a real heavy citrus note, and I was like, oh no, if I'm getting a heavy citrus note at that angle and at that distance, this is going to be a very citrusy, sweet beer.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah.
It's citrus forward, light sweetness that mellows everything out with a very clean finish.
Yeah. Like you said, it doesn't really linger too long.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah. That's good.
And that's the 6%.
Yeah.
I'm glad they only sell these in 4-packs because
dangerous.
That could be a dangerous beer.
Yeah, definitely.
That's very nice.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to dislike too many beers. I feel like I don't get around too well with the peanut butter stouts. I have a hard time with those.
I'll try them just to see.
Yeah.
But if they have that, if I smell it and it smells like fake peanut butter, I'm not even going to try it. But if I smell it and it has what seems to be like the peanut butter you buy where you got to stir it because the oil's on top.
Yeah.
So it's peanut butter, but it's not sweet.
Yeah.
So if I kind of get that same aroma, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Because it will have generally, at least for me, it has that peanut butter flavor, but it's not sweet.
Yeah, the sweet would kind of ruin it for me.
And if it's put with the right base beer, you're going to get that peanut butter flavor, but you're not going to get that sweetness. And then the stout comes in and just kind of leaves you with kind of a espresso or a dark black coffee flavor, and then it just kind of trails off from there. In my opinion, once you run across a well-done peanut butter stout, you might not drink 3 or 4 of them, but you'll definitely put one back and say, that's pretty good beer. I need to move away from it because usually they're going to be a little bit higher ABV.
Sure, so, yeah.
At least for me, I've learned my lesson. If it's a good one, call it good, walk away from it. Because if you sit there and keep drinking that, you're going to regret it later.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah. And at my age, it's usually all of the next day.
All of the next day?
Yeah. So
all right.
I have to watch myself.
Noted.
How do you stay creative and inspired when it comes to making music?
That is really hard to do. And I would say that it starts with me kind of like making sure I'm in a good place mentally. Like I kind of bought into the whole starving artist thing when I was younger, like in my 20s, like you have to live on the edge of like misery and starvation, and like that's how you make like good art. And I've realized that that's not true for me. Like if I'm stressed out about something, like if, money is tough and like I'm having trouble paying my bills, like I'm probably not gonna be I'm not gonna want to sit down and like be creative, because I'm trying to figure out how to like not be stressed about money. Like what else can I be doing to like spend less or make more? Um and so like I feel the most creative and inspired when I feel like I can afford to let a couple hours fly by and have no like real agenda, and like just kind of see what happens. As I told you earlier, like sometimes I'll like work on something and then delete it. And it's like, well, that's okay. Like I, there wasn't anything else that I needed to do. So I would say like making sure that I'm in like a generally good headspace, like try not to be stressed out about things, like being healthy, which, like not drinking too much, getting enough sleep, exercise, like those are the things that make me feel good in like mentally and physically. And so by like chasing those things, like I feel like a freedom to be creative. Um, so that's like the first thing that comes to mind. The second is like I'm always listening to new music, something that I've never heard. I love new music, and I try to find it every day if I can. And that just like kind of like pushes me forward with trying to find new sounds.
As a creative, what gear or software can you not live without?
That's a good question. I mean, it's kind of lame. This is funny. I remember hearing a Tom York interview from Radiohead, of his like years ago, and they're like, what's your desert island gear? Like, what would you bring? Like a guitar? And he's like, no, I wouldn't bring a guitar. I'd bring my laptop. And like, I remember when I was younger, I was like, oh, that's so lame. Like, you wouldn't bring a guitar? Like, you think of like rock stars. It's like, oh yeah, he's got to have his guitar. But of course, he's also like into more electronic music. But I would say the same thing. I can do so many cool creative things on my laptop working in Ableton without anything else. When I'm on tour with other bands, or like, on vacation in some way, like I'll bring my laptop and sometimes like a little keyboard. But it's just so fun to be like on a plane and like just like making things on your laptop, like programming the drums, like using the keys to like play the chords. So like I guess besides like being I mean, my voice isn't in gear or software, but like aside from like my voice, I would say Ableton on my laptop is the best thing, because yeah.
How do you approach mixing and mastering?
First of all, I don't do any mastering. That's one thing that I hire other people to do, because to be honest, I don't know like how familiar your listeners are going to be with the process of mastering music. And really it's kind of like a mysterious thing, and all it is just like making sure that a song is as loud as all the other songs that are out there, so they like when you play them back in a setting back to back, one's not like quieter, so like you don't have to like turn it up. It's like, okay, it's about the same level. I studied audio engineering, and that's like what I'm trained in. But at this point in time, I don't listen to hi-fi music, like high fidelity music. So I honestly don't know what a good master should sound like, because I'm listening to most of my music like from Spotify in my Apple AirPods, and that's not like an ideal sonic setting. So I let someone else take care of that. I don't do mastering. Someone else knows what a master should sound like. But my approach to mixing, excuse me, I might just cough just to like get whatever's going on.
Right.
My approach to mixing is, how can you do the least amount to like get the most? Like when I was starting off, I used to just be so like microscopic with everything that I did, and I think that I took a lot of life out of the mixes that I used to do. And so I try to just kind of like always keep like a big picture perspective when I'm mixing, of like if I'm like working on filtering the drums, for instance, like I'm also listening to the vocal, and it's like, how is what I'm doing with the drums changing how I perceive the vocal? So there's kind of like a macroscopic process than like microscopic, to just kind of, be brief about it.
What is one production technique that you think is underrated?
Oh, doubling. I think doubling is underrated. When it's like it can be anything. My first thought was vocals, like doubling vocals. That really like changes the vibe of a song. But also if you have like a cool melody that you play on guitar, like, just like double it with that same instrument. It's like kind of just like a little thicker, and then like do the same thing on like another different instrument, or even another instrument. So like if you have like a cool melody, like just kind of like layer it up. But I don't think obviously like pros do that and know that, but that's something that I kind of chase these days in producing.
How has technology changed the way you make music?
It means that you don't have to be as proficient as a musician. It's scary. Like I know we all have our own like ads on our phone of like, what Instagram thinks you want to look at or whatever. But like I get some like freaky ads of like all the artificial intelligence tools that you can use in music production. Like just one that comes to mind is like you can sing into this app and like record your voice, and then once your voice is recorded, you can scroll through all these different kinds of singers and like pick the one that you want. And it's like, oh, it'll make your voice instantly sound like that singer. Like I could be like a black woman if I wanted to. And it's crazy. But just like all of the software that's available, you don't have to be a good player. Like you don't have to have great rhythm or even like that much knowledge of music theory to like make something that will pass. So I'm continuing my like journey as a musician to like become a better player and just be better all around, because I think that like once you have a better foundation in that regard, you can be more creative. Like once you know all the rules, once you're good at these things, you're able to break the rules once you know them. That's kind of my approach. But it's kind of just like changed where the bar is, where it's like, okay, you don't really have to be like that great of a player anymore to make something that passes as a song. So what can you do that's going to set you apart? You kind of have to like figure out how to be more unique because the playing field has been leveled, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has social media influenced the way you make music?
Yeah, it has. Unfortunately, I think that I don't think I'm good at social media. And it sort of forces me to post more. Like I have to be active. And so I have to like put out things to show people. And I've like definitely recorded some things and some projects that I wouldn't have otherwise if I didn't have the purpose of posting it. Like I've like written songs or like recorded jam sessions that like I probably wouldn't have done if I didn't need something to post. So as far as the way that I make music, I'm glad that I don't, when I'm actually like writing songs, I'm not writing it in a way where I'm like trying to make it be like, oh, this would like go viral on TikTok. Like that's not how my brain works. So I'm glad about that. But I'm definitely thinking about like, how can I present this to the world on social media sometimes? Which is kind of a bummer, honestly. I don't like that I have to do that.
Well, do you think you talked about earlier sitting down for 45 minutes to an hour to 2 hours, making a song, you have created however much of the song you've created, and then you hit the delete button and you're satisfied with everything that happened. Have you ever thought about maybe before you hit the delete button, posting that on social media as a short and then asking your fans, what are your thoughts on this? Is this a keeper or is this something that I need to delete?
Yeah.
And just kind of put a post out, put a feeler out and say, hey, people that didn't create this, you have fresh ears. What do you think about this? And then hold on to it. And if you get enough positive feedback, maybe instead of deleting it, say, you know what, maybe I'm not going to put all my effort into it, but I'll shelve it over here and save it for later. And that way, instead of wasting that 2 hours, you have actually created possibly multiple shorts for social media.
Yeah.
And as an indie artist, social media it's the devil right now.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, you've created multiple posts possibly.
Yeah. I think that's a really valid point. And that's an interesting thing to think about. And that's something that I, kind of the way my brain works is like, oh, like I should do this. I ought to do this. Like, and that's kind of like how I think about social media is like, oh, I should do more. That would be a good like vehicle for more content. And I don't disagree with you. I guess the point that I was trying to make about why I like deleting things is because it allows me to have to appreciate only the process. And it's like, oh, this is like 2 hours of pure creation. And like when I'm done, I don't have to worry about what I'm going to do with this product. It's like, that was just fun. And I don't have to think about it anymore. So that's kind of like why I do that.
Okay. So it's
almost like a meditative, it's like a meditative thing where I'm like, once I'm done, it's gone forever. So I can like just enjoy it.
So as a creative, music is your meditation.
Yeah.
Can you describe to your fans and to me and to your future fans, what is the perfect day?
The perfect day?
The perfect day.
Oh, I had one recently.
Okay. Well, you know what? Tell me all about it.
Okay. Yeah.